Hi guys, and welcome to The Missing Link. So, remember how I said that I worked out that my story may have been based off homestuck? Well, I found some more evidence. I found a story set in the Victorian era that I'm pretty sure is very much based off that Asylum stock fanfiction I wrote that was meant to be based in the Victorian era or whatever old-fashioned era this was meant to be. I think it's 1800s sort of thing. So, yes, today I'm going to read that to you. You can see what the very beginnings of my story were like. Grey puffs of smoke rose from the fleeting train and blended into the dismal evening sky. Yellow newspapers united dead leaves blowing throughout the busy streets. Men in tall boots and long trousers passed women in extravagant hats. Many of them brandished umbrellas, or sheltered in bakeries filled with the scent of baking bread, though only the smallest raindrops threatened to spoil the night. Sarah placed her hand on younger brother Philip's shoulder. "Philip, it's Philip, everybody!" who shivered in the cold. "Can we go home now?" he complained. At 18, he was still young and childish. His long blonde hair fell in front of his brown eyes. That's interesting. I don't remember making his eyes brown because they're like blue now. His long blonde hair fell in front of his brown eyes and he crossed his arms in his father's trench coat. His face was red and his teeth chattered. "I just need to buy a few more things," Sarah said. "Could you hold these?" "Fine," was Philip's gruff response. "But hurry up," he called out after her as she turned to enter a small food store. He stood still for several moments, frozen and annoyed. Then he began observing the people around him. A balding, middle-aged man used a crutch to limp slowly past a small, exclusive group of gossiping and giggling girls. A black raven flew to a nearby lamppost, calling out for his friend to join him. Philip turned to his left and noticed a girl was shyly smiling at him. She had bland brown hair, which parted in the middle, and wore a drab grey dress. Compared to the girl standing next to her, she looked quite plain. This girl wore a very flattering pale blue dress, which flowed smoothly over her candlestick figure, her head covered in elaborate blonde curls, and a blue flowery fascinator. She had overdone her makeup. She had overdone everything, really. Personally, Philip preferred the other girl, the plain girl, the pretty girl. Okay, and here I might add, yes, we are talking about Helena and Cordelia. But Helena used to be called Miriam. I actually only changed her name because Mum's got a friend called Miriam, and she's like, "Why did you call her, your character, that?" And I'm like, "What? No reason, stop judging me, okay? I'll change her name." And then, basically, I changed her name to Helena because I was doing a Midsummer Night's Dream with the Drama Society at my university, and I don't know, I thought it was a cool name. Miriam watched him silently, her heart sighing, unaware of his thoughts. Was the girl? She didn't want to think about it. "Who are you looking at?" her sister Cordelia asked her. No one," she stammered. "That filthy child? Surely you are not admiring him." See, this is where I know I set this in Victorian era or whatever, because they're using such weird formal language. "There is nothing wrong with them," Miriam said, rather more loudly than she had intended. "Control your temper." "I will not. I doubt he has a half-penny in his pocket." "Money isn't everything. In today's society, it is very important indeed. Money does not buy love. Stop romanticizing random stuff. What the heck? Falling in love with Philip already, you loser. Money does not buy love, but it is more important. It is not. Then you admit? I do not admit anything. Philip found this argument rather amusing. He could not hear exactly what they were saying, though if he could, he most likely would be rather offended. His sister had returned, deep in conversation with a perhaps 16-year-old girl with curly, bushy hair, as thick as it could possibly be in such a cool climate. She wore a black coat over a cream dress and had a freckled face as red as her hair. Who could that possibly be? Oh, Philip, there you are, cried his sister, coming to a stop. This is Madeline. Madeline, this is my brother Philip. This is such a random encounter. What a coincidence. Madeline and Philip shook hands. It's a pleasure to meet you, Madeline said, and she turned to Sarah. I'll best be off now. My sisters will be waiting for me, and we've got a train to catch. She motioned towards the girls Philip had noticed earlier and ran off. We'll get a train as well. I'm feeling a little weary, Sarah said. I do hope I have enough coins. 1, 2, 3... £1, Philip said, astonished. He snatched it up off the ground and was about to take off with it when Cordelia came and grabbed it out of his hand. That's mine, she said angrily. Cordelia? Miriam was shocked. How could Cordy be so rude? She took another £1 from her purse and handed it to Philip. Keep the change, she said. Yeah, anyway, there's another part here. Seems sort of going off track a bit, but this is Madeline's perspective. We've got more in common than you would believe, and yet we are so very different. We have different appearances, are part of different branches of the church, and have a different view on just about any topic of conversation I can think of off the top of my head. Cordy certainly isn't anything like her namesake, the lovely Cordelia, youngest and only decent daughter of King Lear. Oh yes, that's another Shakespeare reference. With 2 brats for siblings. In fact, I'd say she's the worst out of the 3 of us. She undoubtedly is determined, and believe me, she gets what she wants. What she says will happen, does happen. I'm rather nervous, really, as her latest ploy is that her method of death will be spontaneous human combustion, which is very rare and would be most painful and unpleasant. It's quite interesting. I have a hard time trying to work out what she's actually talking about. But yeah, so Cordelia predicted her own death is gonna be spontaneous combustion, so that's cool. I should definitely write that into the actual novel, because it cannot get any more crazier. That would be interesting. I don't know why painful's in red. That seems odd. Miriam was the sweet, plain, real Cordelia when we were children, anyway. She's very strict now on herself and her kids. Oh, wait. How much time passed between then and now? I feel like must have been a time gap. Does that mean she married Philip and had kids already by the time this has been talking about? Maybe? Could say so. And seems quite tired constantly, and is always trying to break old habits and start new practices. I don't do much except read all kinds of books. It's really my only goal to finish the entire library before my 23rd birthday. Non-fiction, crime, fantasy, I really don't have much preference. It annoys Cordelia terribly. Now this is interesting, that Madeline's one really into books, because since then it seems to be more Helena that's into books. She's the one who started the book club, and the song I wrote about her has a line, curled up in the corner flipping through our favourite novels. We'll still be curled up in the corner, flipping through our favourite novels, tangled up in a wool when I try to knit you a scarf, burning our fingers on a tray of raisin biscuits, racing down the hallway to be the first to class. Yeah, I wrote that whole song for Helena ages ago. Hopefully I can get a good version of it soon. But yeah. Anyway, I'm off track a bit. So, in the current version of things, Madeline's big thing is, I guess, maths and also drama. Which is sort of what she has in common with Edmund, except Edmund hates maths. But it's why they end up having a lot of interaction with each other anyway. Okay, anyway, what I was saying. It annoys Cordelia terribly. She'd rather I like the books she hates and vice versa than me not having an opinion at all. Oh, jeez. This is... wow. Miriam's dyslexic, and she does not read anything except for the Bible, which she insists is a necessary requirement. Now that's really interesting. That's really changed, I guess. Anyways, I suppose I must start from the beginning. The world's a funny place now. The earth seems to be finally aware that humans are ruining it, so it's begun its plan to fix itself. I'm not joking. Endangered animals are increasing massively in numbers. The earth has begun to cool, and the rainforests are returning, and human help has been zilch. That's what we began noticing before the government shut everyone out and ruined everything forever. It seems that no one knows any geography anymore. It's a subject that is strictly forbidden. Everyone's making their own guess as to where utopia, dystopia, and the maze actually are, and how much they take up out of the Earth's total land surface area. Now this paragraph, I do not understand at all. I do not know what my mind was thinking. Clearly I had a completely different plot in mind to what I do now. Something about this maze. It sounds actually like a really cool idea, like the Earth fixing itself and stuff. But the government's keeping all these secrets and no one knows anything, and the whole strict government thing definitely sounds like this is meant to be a 1984 prequel, which is a reasonable possibility because I did love 1984. But yeah, then there's this whole maze thing, and utopia and dystopia, which I spelt with wrong. Dystopia. Yeah, maybe I should try and make another short story or something that continues this plot. I don't really want to try and... I mean, it might even work in with what I have now, but I probably shouldn't overcomplicate things, but... Anyway, that was all I could find of what I'd written for that version of the story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we can see the links between this and Asylum Stuck and Homestuck. So, as you can see, there was the whole rich girl being nice to the poor boy kind of storyline that we saw with Helena and Philip here, and with Nepeta and Carcat in the other story. And I feel like you could just switch the names around and it would be fairly interchangeable. And especially since the Asylum Stuck thing had nothing to do with actual Homestuck anyway. But considering it was meant to be Homestuck fanfiction, this is definitely still a link back to Homestuck, which is terrible news, and also, oh whatever, it's changed so much that you can't accuse me of plagiarism or whatever, and but yeah, coolsy cools. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. More cool stuff coming soon. And yeah, thanks.